Hi everyone, Amy here with amyswares, and I'm going to make a quick card today and talk a little bit about color theory, and it's really going to help us stretch our supplies. So I have two new stencils here from A Colorful Life Designs, calibrated lines, and I forgot what the triangle one is. Either way, I will link them below. I have two new colors from Catherine Pooler, Verbena and Goldenrod, and my Altenew blending brushes. Here's a photo of the finished card to show you the direction that we're headed. Now, the fun technique here in terms of stretching your supplies, oh, there we go, random triangles and calibrated lines. Those are the two new stencils. But this is a fun way to stretch your supplies. For the first tip is by using multiple stencils together. So maybe mix and match, figure out all the different ways that you can mix and match your stencils to create endless looks. Now this is my first time using these two colors. I was really curious how they stamped out or, actually looked on paper. So I have a little piece of scrap paper here that I'm going to do some ink blending on because I want to see pouncing it off how dark it actually is. And the way that color theory is going to come into play here is when I layer up the other stencil. So I'm going to show you in a moment what the yellow looks like on its own and what the purple verbena looks like on its own. And if you know anything about color theory, then you know complementary colors are the colors opposite each other on the color wheel. And usually when you're ink blending, you want to avoid mixing those together. So like purple and yellow or red and green, they're complementary colors, which means they're going to make mud. Well, in this case, I'm going to show you here what the purple looks like first of all. So here's the purple, and when you put it on top of the yellow, it makes the most gorgeous brown. So if you don't have any neutrals in your crafty stash and you want a brown, then think about what colors you can mix together color theory wise and create that color. So I'm obviously going to use this purple on its own in other ways, but I really love the brown that this created by overlaying it. So from a distance it might look a little bit like purple, but when you look at this card close up, once they mixed in together, it created just such a gorgeous chocolate brown. So here's the two colors, and then when you mix them together, look, you get brown. Super fun. So it's a way to stretch your crafty supplies. For tip number 2 is to create your own neutral inks if you don't have them. So now I'm shopping through my sentiment book, and I have it in my mind that now I want to find a brown sentiment because this created such a gorgeous brown. So that wasn't entirely my intention. I knew that it might happen. I knew that it might muddy it up, but I wanted to play and just kind of go and see what it created. And like I said, I'm so happy with how it turned out. So I'm flipping through some options here. I have some die cuts from Catherine Pooler that are in pattern paper already cut out, and then some that are brown. So I'm just kind of flipping through. I ultimately end up going with one of these Altenew die cuts. They have the word cut layer as well as the shadow layer, and I do have some of those in a brown cardstock that happens to match perfectly. So I'm going to use these two together, and on the white layer, I could custom color it. I can't remember if I did end up custom coloring it or if I ended up using the yellow cardstock that I also happened to have cut out, which was a perfect match for the goldenrod. I think that's what I ended up doing. So I had yellow that was cut out and brown that was cut out. But if you do white, then you can custom color match perfectly by doing some ink blending or like pouncing your ink pad directly on top of it. So that's another tip if you want to customize and have a perfect match. And you don't have a matching color cardstock, is create your own. So just do the die cutting out of white and then pounce your ink color that you chose on top of it to create a perfect color match. So here I'm going to strategically place my hello die cut on top of the mistake where the ink was just a little bit too juicy and it got under my stencil. And now I'm going to finish the card with some card bling. So there's also card bling in the shop at A Colorful Life Designs. So many colors to choose from. There's actually over 100 in the shop now, which is amazing. So I'm flipping through the browns and the yellows that I have to figure out which direction I want to go. And this was one of the new colors for August. I did end up going with that one, I believe. I might have actually been being a little precious here, going back and forth, figuring out, yeah, the yellow was much too light. It wasn't mustardy enough to match, so I did end up going with this new color in the shop, I believe. It's been a little while since I filmed this, so I don't honestly remember what I ended up choosing. But I will link everything below, all the names, the bling names, things like that. And again, this is Goldenrod and Verbena. Those are the two newest colors from Catherine Pooler at the time of filming this anyway. And that's going to finish the card. So be sure to check out the rest of the August release. Use my coupon AmyFan10 if you shop and save on your complete order. And I will catch you next time. Bye.